Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the RnRGzrs show. I'm your host, and as always, the man that helps me out along the way with his knowledge, that would be my co-host, Doc Vox. How you doing, Doc?
I'm doing quite well, Murph. How you doing?
Doing really good, really good. Been a busy week. A lot of things going on in the music
Yeah,
world. So why don't we dig right into it? Looks like Neil Sean from Journey might put the band on a evening type tour, an evening with type tour, which I believe what you mentioned that would be probably maybe an acoustic set, some conversation, because 3 hours is
yeah,
quite a long way, So that's what do you think? That's probably what's
yeah,
going
yeah. I
on
don't
there.
envision them playing for 3 straight hours. It's probably like I guess it puts me in mind of I remember the VH1 series Storytellers, where they kind of
Right.
sit around and talk and tell how the songs came about and whatnot. So, yeah, that might be fun. That might be cool if
Yeah.
you're a
Well,
Journey fan.
they've got so much great music. It's incredible. What great songs. Also, Roger Waters is doing a tour. Uh, good
Right
for him. I hope
in
he
the
has a good.
round.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, it's in the
Well,
round. Yeah,
I hope he has a good time. He seems so bitter just all the time, so bitter.
I know. Yeah,
And we need to do a show about band members that hate each other because boy, we got a
there,
doozy going
there,
on there.
yeah, there are several.
How about
Yeah, he
it?
says he's looking forward to doing his first farewell tour. So
Yeah, a lot of the big stars that do multiple farewell tours. So what the hey? Also, we saw Carlos Santana on the 2nd,
mhm.
and on the 5th, he collapsed on stage.
Indeed, that's exactly right.
And and as a an addition to that, it looks like he's canceling at least 6 more
Yeah,
shows. Yeah, you saw
yeah,
that
kind of
too, huh?
taking his doctor's advice and better safe than sorry kind of situation and canceled. Yeah, like 2 weeks worth of shows. So
Wow.
uh,
Yeah. Well, he didn't have any fans on the stage or anything when we saw him. I didn't see any of his suit ruffling or anything.
right,
So,
right, right.
you got to take care of the guy,
Yeah,
at
his
that age.
age, I
And they
mean,
said it was heat exhaustion and stuff. Well, if you didn't have a bunch of fans on him, and damn the sound guy, who will bitch about, well, you could hear that in the microphones. Tough shit. It's
right,
Carlos
yeah,
Santana, and he ends up collapsing. Though there you so
yeah, yeah. Now
you
you're
know,
without a gig for 2 weeks, so there you go. Yeah,
yeah, that turned out real well. Jeez. So good luck to him, man. I hope
yeah.
he's
Hopefully,
hanging in
speedy
there.
recovery for Carlos.
My gosh. Also, Wolfgang Van Wolfgang Van Halen, 31-year-old son of the legend, is engaged, and good for him. Chimney creepers. Good for him. Man, it's not fun having losing a parent, especially as young as Eddie was.
Yeah,
He was
yeah,
still a young guy,
yeah, yeah.
and but good for Wolfie. Wolfie gets to do whatever he wants.
Yeah, he
So
seems like he's moving on with his life pretty well.
he's doing a good
Got
job
his
of it.
own band going, and yeah, he's
Kick ass
getting his own
band too.
family going. So yeah,
Yeah, good for you, Wolfie. Well, you don't have to follow in your dad's footsteps. You don't have to expect yourself to be your dad was one of a kind. So just enjoy yourself, and good luck to you and your bride for sure. Also, King's X, they're canceling their whole European tour because the guitarist Tabor is got a bad illness that requires pretty intensive monitoring.
oh
So
wow,
that's a shame. Yeah, and what's a real shame too is King's X should be at the top of the heap when it comes to bands. They've got some really amazingly good music for a three-piece. I'm a big three-piece fan, and they're a real, truly honest, good band. They were in the MTV era. They had I think 3 songs. It's Love, Lost in Germany, and Black Flag that played pretty consistently on MTV. They're all three
yeah, we've
great
talked about
songs.
them before. I kind
Hmm.
of seem to think they're kind of a victim of bad timing. Kind of, their
Yes.
type of sound was popular probably a few years after they came out, but yeah, good rocking band, and
Yeah.
yeah, hopefully they'll get back out
And
on the road, man.
and they've got the videos on YouTube. So I would suggest any of them. Lost in Germany, Black Flag, or It's Love. And good luck to him. They're going to be sticking around the States. So and also let's get let's go back to our good buddies Tommy Lee.
Okay.
Oh, Tommy. Geez. Well, actually, let's go to, Tommy, the stories we've heard. He got his ass kicked by Vince Neil, and
Right.
I've heard that the one that I wish would be true, which I'm sure isn't, is Barry Manilow kicked his ass backstage. That was out there. And then, of course, there's a
And wait,
story.
hold on.
Time
In
out.
what universe? How does that come to be? How?
Well, back in the day, they were calling him barely man enough. So he's probably just said, I'd probably get some street credit if I kicked this fucking drummer's ass. So, but I'm, that was a funny rumor. And of course, Tommy and his wife or girlfriend or whatever, they're saying that while they were rehearsing for the tour they're on now, they rented out an old farmhouse, and he tripped coming down the old staircase, which having lived in old farmhouses and knowing them staircases, and knowing how, drunk he probably was, I wouldn't doubt if that's the case. But at the same time, he said he broke 4 ribs. Now, that was like 2 weeks ago, and he's already doing full gigs. No, wait a while. Time out on the playing field. I'm sure anybody out there who's broken a rib or two knows that, after a couple of weeks, you're not going to be out there, swinging a baseball bat and stuff because of the pain. I call bullshit. I call bullshit on Tommy
Hey,
Lee.
he might be Brett Favre tough, man. I think Brett Favre played with some broken ribs one time. I'm sure
That could be. And then, of course, we got Vince. Let me see. I can't get the whole thing in there, but there's the tweet that was so great, and he was telling people to stop sending me this shit. That tweet, but that's great. But people are bitching about him because he's using a teleprompter. And there were some pictures.
So what?
There are some pictures. There's some pictures online of the teleprompter, and one of the comments was it's the McDonald's takeout menu on the teleprompter, and that makes good sense because he is Vince Neil. But
Ordering a mid-set snack, perhaps. Yeah.
Oh, that is so crazy. That is so very cool.
Yeah, but so what? I think, why not use a teleprompter? I mean, oh my God, these guys,
I can't believe anybody. Well, who was, who raised his freaking head, his opinion today was, who's the lead singer for Twisted Sister?
Dee Snider.
Dee Snider. Oh, I've never had to use your teleprompter in my life. Drugs.
Yeah, nobody
I'm
gives
not
a
on
shit.
drugs
Either,
and alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck off. Really, just bite me. Dee Snider.
I saw his show one time, not with Twisted Sister, just as a solo act, and it's yeah, whatever.
Yeah, good riddance to that, for crying out loud. And oh man, this article came up that I had no idea about this. Back in the day, the word Altamont, when you talk about Altamont, which was, most people just know, it was some kind of festival or something. I saw this headline, and I just had to save this article. Gimme Shelter: the Hell's Angels plot to assassinate Mick Jagger. Now, that caught my eye. I thought, now this is something worth looking into, because maybe everybody doesn't know about Altamont, so maybe a little history on the Altamont music concert. It was supposed to be a festival, pretty much a hellhole, but right after Woodstock, like 4 months after Woodstock, the Stones announced a free concert in San Francisco because they were getting so much criticism from journalists and fans because the price of their tickets and their upcoming American tour was way high. I don't know how high it is. I never did look into that. Do you know?
No, but I can imagine it's probably like $650 a ticket or something outrageously low that we would laugh at now. But yeah.
But so they thought, well, hey, let's be slick and put a concert together, and make up for the high ticket prices. And at that point, you figure, that's not too bad of an idea. A nice concert in San Francisco. Boy, that'd be groovy as hell. Got all sorts of great bands out there and whatnot. And so they started putting things together, and how many did they the first 2 venues dropped out, right?
First three, actually, they started out, excuse me, I was going to start off at San Jose State.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had recently had a show there to kind of tore the place up. So they no more of that rock and roll stuff. So then they were going to blah, 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 blah. Oh, God, should I write it down? Somewhere else.
Right.
They were going to, Golden State Park,
Oh,
which was kind of like where the 49ers played. They're going to go to Golden State Park. Kind of same reaction there. Yeah, we're going to have none of this rock and roll, tearing up the field kind of stuff.
sure.
Then they moved to another venue, Sears, I guess, sponsored our racetrack. And then that fell through. And then at the last minute, they went to Altamont. And this, it's a great story. If you don't know, the movie Give Me Shelter, the Stones kind of documentary,
Sure.
kind of documents the whole concert. They don't go into a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. Hopefully we'll get into some of that here and hip you to it. But real good place to start is to watch the Stones Give Me Shelter. I got the DVD. I should have pulled that out. But started off the Stones. Were kind of catching crap for high prices. And they finished up their tour, actually finished up in San Francisco. So like, okay, we'll do a free one. At the time, it was actually the Jerry Garcia's, or actually it was Jerry Garcia and a couple members of Jefferson Airplane. It was their idea to do the show. So I'm not exactly, I think they pulled the Stones in, and the Stones just happened to be kind of wanting to do something like that. So, all these bands were going to play. It was going to be Jefferson Airplane. Santana opened the show. The Flying Burrito Brothers, which if you don't know, had Graham Parsons, some other members of the Byrds, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, Grateful Dead,
the Airplane,
and the Airplane, and then the Stones were going to finish it off, be the headliners, which is hey, great idea, but Woodstock took months, 7-8 months to put together, which is still a relatively short time in terms of today putting a festival together.
Right.
It's a whole year job. Some of these festivals like Lollapalooza and Riot Fest, so it's a whole year just keep cycle of doing these festivals. But they tried to put this one together in a matter of like 3 weeks, and with all the venues that changed in that time, I'm sure it was just it was a cluster from the get-go. And of course, who came up with the bright idea to, we need security for the place. What better organization to turn to than the Hells Angels for our Fine Hells Angels organizations of California.
Wow, who did that? Wasn't
that was Jerry Garcia's idea to do that? So,
boy,
I'm not sure what sparked him to do that. I have no idea. I'm sure it's out there somewhere, but he thought it'd be a good idea to get the Hells Angels.
Unbelievable.
They'll work cheap. I guess the rumor was 500 cases of beer or something.
I heard 500 cases, and the article I'm looking at says $500 worth of beer. Either way, jeez, what a train wreck from hell. My gosh.
Yeah, there's a part going on. I hope you go into more about the threats with Mick Jagger. If you watch the very, very beginning at Give Me Shelter, I don't know if they're like in a radio station type place. It seems like they're doing some editing and stuff, though. I'm not sure what's going on there. But at any rate, Hells Angels calls in, and you're kind of defending his stance. And there wasn't any direct death threats, but you could tell. Yeah, Mick Jagger, that guy sucks. All this kind of, they were kind of putting a lot of the blame of what went wrong on Mick Jagger. And they said that they were hired to sit at the front of the stage and drink beer and keep people from crawling over them. And that was, but they took it like it was their show. They're up on stage and grabbing mics and, making announcements. And it was.
Well, look at the picture behind me.
Yeah.
That was, I think, right after they punched out. They punched out who? Marty Balin from Jefferson Airplane.
Yeah.
And then they started arguing with some of the Hells Angels. Bad, don't argue with them hippie rock stars. You made it. What a trade. And on the movie Altamont, they Jagger's up there jamming. Who's fighting and what for?
Right.
And on the side of the stage is this Hells Angels tweaking out on something, looking like he's just dying to kill something. It's like the the most horrible, crazy time ever. But yeah, they oh boy, jeez. And of course, one person died at Altamont.
Yeah, Meredith Hunter, 18 years old, was stabbed to death, like just feet in front of the stage. I got to think somebody in the band saw it.
Well, he did pull out a gun. I saw a still of the gun. It says here during the concert, Meredith Hunter, a fan who was roughly pushed off by the guards when he tried to climb onto the stage. Well, and there's another point, Doc. The stage was like 3 foot tall.
Right.
And it was at the bottom of like a slope, up all, geez. Well, you're asking for, that stage should have been 8 foot tall. It should have been 6 foot tall. It should be 3 foot tall is insanity. But he tried to climb onto the stage and then he pulled out a gun in an irate move, which cost him his life. He was tackled, beaten, and then stabbed. And, the whole thing is, I don't know if I think it is on video. Is it on the?
Yeah, it's in Give Me Shelter.
It's on the movie.
For sure. Yeah, you can see it. And you got to, Mick had to see it. I mean, I'm sure he didn't see the actual killing.
Right.
I think he made statements later. He just, saw a scuffle that it was an ongoing scuffle throughout the whole, some kind of scuffle. One kind or another. But this one he just saw it as another scuffle. But guy was getting stabbed. Guy that got arrested, the Hells Angels guy, went to trial for it. And was acquitted, self-defense.
There's a good picture right there.
Because the guy did have a gun. Yeah, the Hells Angels, they were just on stage.
You want to play on that stage? If you're a musician, look at that. Really, they're menacing. It was really pretty tragic. Considering that they were considering this Woodstock, and I guess 300,000 people showed up.
Yeah,
just amazing.
Yeah, they were kind of pushing as the Woodstock of the West. And, they just had Woodstock and it was 3 days and not an incident, it was just all peace and love. But get the Hells Angels in the mix. And, I got to think, anything past 1,000 feet from the stage probably was a lot of peace and love. But up on the stage was hell on earth, man, for sure.
Well, and it's interesting because, we had Monterey in '67, which basically was the Summer of Love. That was a peak of the Summer of Love. A couple of years later, we have Woodstock, which was starting, the anti-war stuff was really high. It was a rare incident where that many people got together and everybody just, stuck it out and had a good time. And then basically Altamont was the death of the Summer of Love. It was a death of the Summer of Love, the peace movement thing.
It was December 6th, I want to say, 69. So right at the end of the decade, it kind of marked the end of the whole hippie flower child, thing movement. But like you said, who would want to play on that stage? And the Grateful Dead didn't. They left. Crosby, Stills, and Nash are young. Stephen Stills got stabbed in the leg with a spoke, with a bike spoke.
Oh, wow.
So once Garcia heard that, they're like, "No, man, we're
getting to the point where we gotta get the hell out of here."
Yeah, they're like, "Hey, man, we're a chill band, man. We're not about that shit. We're not playing here." And it got to that point here. The founders, co-founders of the event, no, we're not playing, and they bailed. So,
oh man, well, like you said, the Woodstock took months and months, and just amazing planning, and even they were overwhelmed. And being that they expected this to be Woodstock West, they were expecting a huge amount of people, and still things went to hell. The movie is a must see. It's just the depression of the musicians and wondering what the hell's going on here.
The short time, basically they set everything up overnight. And being beginning of December in San Francisco, it was pretty cold. It was like right around freezing. And they're basically moving everything from the last site that they were approved, the Sears racetrack, and over there trying to move it in one night. A lot of the bathrooms didn't get moved. A lot of the facilities didn't get moved. So it was just a recipe for disaster, just all the way around, man. It's just
I'm glad they made a movie out of it, just so you can see what a disaster looks like.
Well, that was kind of the point of doing it. They're like, okay, we'll do the free concert, but obviously, we got bills to pay, so we'll put it on film and get the money that way.
Yeah, but what a train wreck. Jeez. You can't reheat a souffle. They tried. That's one of my favorite sayings from Paul McCartney. You can't reheat a souffle. Oh, we're going to be Woodstock West. Yeah. But summer.
Yeah, there were 4 deaths. There was
You're
the
kidding.
stabbing
At Altamont?
Yeah, there was the stabbing. There were 2 hit and runs, and then there was one where a dude on acid drowned in a irrigation ditch.
Far out, man.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I know. No, I can be sarcastic. Time equals comedy.
Right. But you see it, and just cars were just for miles were just abandoned on the side. The traffic going in was horrible. Everything about it, there was like no planning at all. Cars were being just left, and a lot of them were stolen or abandoned. People didn't care. It was just a mess.
Well, it sounds like San Francisco of today. How about that? Jeez.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm looking forward to a good time next Saturday, Doc. We got our next installment on our summer concert tour. We're going to be seeing Cheap Trick opening up for Rod Stewart.
Yes,
and I'm pretty excited about that. Cheap Trick, they've added a keyboardist and a guitarist. They're sort of in the background there to add to the fullness. So I'm actually anxious to see a really full Cheap Trick band, because I've seen them a couple of times, in their four piece. Right. Is it 4-piece? Yeah, 4-piece setup, and they're excellent and stuff. But I'm anxious to see them with a more full sound. And I checked out their set list they're going to be playing, and not quite a handful of the real oldies and a lot of the newer stuff, but I'm sure it's just going to be just a mind-blowingly good time. And I saw an advertisement for Sir Rod. He is a Sir, right?
He is a Sir.
He is Sir Rod. Okay, I saw it for Sir Rod, and it looks like it's going to be a good time, brother. Holy cow.
Wow.
We were complaining, we were talking about how Santana just basically, kept his back to the audience half the night, and there's nothing there. It looks like Sir Rod is bringing his big A game from the looks of this advertisement he had on TV. So I'm very excited. Holy cow. So yeah, it's going to be still a great summer. We've got so much coming up. We're just getting started. We're getting through the mellow phase right now, basically. If not Cheap Trick necessarily, but we relative
to what's coming up, though,
and Rod and we saw Santana. It's like our mellow section, and then after Chicago, we kick it into high gear with Rob Zombie, I believe. So, and from then on in, it's balls to the wall. I'm so excited about the rest of that. When we really kick it in August, it's just going to be crazy cool.
Yep, good times to be had for sure.
And
hopefully we won't see anything like Altamont while we're out there.
I don't think so. Yeah, it'll get crazy. Santana and Earth, Wind and Fire, they packed the house, and I don't know, I'm going to be interested to see who else packs the house for the rest of the summer, because if you're packing the house, you're at about 20,000 people at the venue we go to, so it's a fairly decent sized place. So I'm sort of anxious to see who else can bring it. Will it be Kid Rock? Will it be who knows, Rob Zombie? I don't know. Korn. Boom. It's just wow. I'm very excited to see to continue going. And the lawn is a great place. A lot of great people on the lawn, and we party hard. We always sit right in front of one of the screens, and a lot of the show depends, quite honestly, for the people on the lawn. A lot of the show depends on the director, whoever's directing the cameras, because that's really important. And you really notice a bad one. We had a bad one.
Steely Dan.
We had a really bad one who was basically just fixated on the drummer. And we found that quite odd, actually, but we've had some good directors. So we're just hoping for a good director and good weather. We've had great weather so far. So it's going to be just an outstanding summer. And man, we're just beginning. Absolutely cool.
Absolutely.
And the margaritas are flowing, baby. So I'll tell you what, Doc, very cool, man. I was so excited to talk about Altamont because
Oh yeah,
I didn't know they were going to kill they wanted to. Well, I know they were pissed at him, but you
Yeah.
know, being the Hell's Angels, as a matter of fact, Sonny Berger, the founder of the Hell's Angels, passed away recently, I believe,
I do
within
remember
the
seeing
last
something like
couple of
that.
weeks. Sonny
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Berger, yeah. So rest in peace, Sonny. You know, and these Hell's Angels guys, a lot of them, you know, they started up after World War II. A lot of these fighter, you know, bomber, you know, these crazy
Right.
guys and the bombers, and they come back and they still
Adrenaline junkies,
they
man.
got the
Yeah.
need for
Yeah.
speed. You know,
Yeah.
they're rebels,
Yeah.
and that's how the Hell's Angels started.
Yeah.
And I got no problem with them. I wish they'd come to some of these rallies we see where, you know, everybody's breaking shit and just, you know, put everybody in their place. But that's another story for another time. But in any case, man, another good one, Doc. Fucking A, man. I'm gonna go and mow my lawn. You know, even though we haven't had much rain, it's gotten to the point where the weeds are starting to look unseemly.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna go out and do that, and you know, have another margarita and just enjoy life. So thanks again, everybody, for stopping by. We sure appreciate it. And if you can, and if you haven't yet, please subscribe to our channel because you know, we plan on sticking around a while and having some good shows and some good remotes from our concerts. So give us a like, give us a subscribe, and there you go. What do you got to say there, Doc?
Yeah, please subscribe. We're, you know, like I said, we're just kind of getting a foothold here and trying to build our little fan base, I suppose. But yeah, subscribe if you like what we're doing. If you don't, comment and tell us why.
Damn it.
Yeah, just love talking about rock and roll with you guys. So hope everybody have a great rock and roll filled week, and we'll get back with you next week and talk about the Cheap Trick and Rod Stewart, among
Take
other
care.
things.
You bet. Have a good one, Doc.
Peace out.